You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids. Welcome to season 3 and episode number 80. Yes, 80 of the Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Monday, March 20th, 2023, and it will be a mostly sunny day here at the Beaver Lodge. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And with me, as always, taking a sip from his cup, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly, who's stepping away for 1 second because he just thought of something. Probably more coffee. That would be my guess. Of course. See, I was right. I was right. It was more coffee. I was right. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Monday morning bite for you, but before we get started, hello, Mr. Grizzly. How's your mental health today?
Well, hey, Mr. Grizzly. Mr. Beaver. See, I'm not awake yet.
Well, hello, Mr. Beaver. How are you doing today?
I am not awake.
It's Freaky Friday on Monday.
It's something, man. I think I'm doing good. I'm not sure. I've been up since about 2 a.m. Not on purpose. I just woke up. Well, here's the weird thing. I fell asleep on the couch around, I don't know, sitting there at 10 o'clock. I was working on editing some stuff, and I didn't get nearly as much done yesterday as I planned because my computer crashed twice.
Oh, lovely.
So the second time I'm like, yeah, that's a sign from the universe to just walk away from this for now. So, I went and had dinner with my folks, and then came home, and I started to do some laundry, and then I sat down on the couch at around 9 o'clock, and sometime around 10:30, I woke up on the couch and decided I should probably go to bed. So I went to bed, and then I woke up abruptly at 12:30 and thought it was like 2 in the morning. I thought it was 5 in the morning.
Yep.
I look at the clock and I'm like, 12:30. I just got here. This is not right. Fell back to sleep, woke up at 2, and yeah, I've been up ever since.
Ugh.
So this is going to make for a very long Monday.
Oh my God, you poor dear. I know, I can empathize, so it's not a fun time. I slept well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, not to brag, and but I'm going to take it.
Take it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, good day for me yesterday too. Left the Ottawa Beaver Lodge early in the morning because I had to be back I had to be somewhere else here in Kingston at 1 for because we were doing the group reading of the play I just got cast in.
Okay. I
Uh,
was just about to ask you what when you headed back. Obviously, when you just told me that, but yeah. Okay. So yeah, you headed back. You left early.
Yeah, because normally I stay in for the Monday and get some
Mm.
stuff accomplished in city and all that kind of stuff. But nope, I was requested back, and so my beaver sweetie and I had a bit of a date night. We went out for dinner and a movie, which was very nice.
Nice.
His treat,
Oh, nice.
yes, yes. 10 years in, and we still go out on dates, and he still treats every now and then.
Cool.
I like it. Well, I told him that when we first started dating. I says, if you think you get all of this, and
You
you
got to
got
put
it
some
like
effort
that,
in.
and you got it like that, no. I was like, you got to keep dating this. You got to keep wooing this. I'm
You got to
worth
put in the effort sometimes. Yeah.
it. I know what I'm worth. uh, Good morning, Kit's Saucy, Kit Ellen, Kit Daniel. Lovely to see you today. And Kit Linda M. How are you, you lovely, wonderful people? All right. There is a lot in the news, and to be totally honest, Kits, I'm not
Fully
completely
up
and
to date.
totally up on it. No, because the weekend has been busy,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a life, and I decided to have a bit
Oh,
of
you
a
got to do that from time to time. I have a couple of snippets for you though. I do have a
please, if
couple
you
of
have something to
snippets.
start us up.
So let's start with this. I better pull that.
Yes.
Oh no, we can see it. I don't have to pull down any graphics. UBS reached an 11th hour deal to acquire rival Swiss bank.
Credit
Credit
Suisse.
Suisse. Latest effort to stabilize a global banking system that looks increasingly shaky and is giving off way too many 2007, 2008 vibes for our liking. I completely agree with that. So what happened?
Mhm.
Um, Swiss officials used emergency powers to rush through a deal allowing UBS to buy Credit Suisse at a discount of around 85% compared to the bank's share price when markets closed on Friday. Credit Suisse share price has plunged almost 75% in the past year, and its clients have fled en masse in recent weeks, fearing that a 167-year-old bank was on the verge of insolvency. Like some people who really miss high school, Credit Suisse peaked a while ago. That's very catty, but I like it. Since the 2007 2008 financial crisis, the bank has been rocked by scandal after scandal and faced a steady outflow of clients. Why it matters? The UBS takeover avoids a worst case scenario in which a collapse of Credit Suisse could have triggered a broader financial crisis.
Mhm.
Agent
So,
spoke about last week, which is the big concern, like
yep. Contagion.
panic, right?
Yep. And same thing. The morning pour. As
Just a
always,
top up, just a top up.
as always, brought to you by Don't Dine with Nazis.
Don't
It's
dine with
bad.
Nazis.
Duh. All right. Yeah. I've been finding out a little more about this because we talked about it briefly, tried to give an idea of what was going on. But yes, contagion is the thing that people are worried about. And at SVB, which is not the bank that started it all, because there was another one before
Mhm.
it, which I can't remember, Silver something bank, I think, or something. But essentially, more details as to what happened is that when interest rates were pretty much at zero, the bank took its deposits and put it in very safe things such as 10-year treasury bonds. But there was a downturn in the tech sector itself that required them to withdraw money in order to remain more liquid, which required SVB to sell some of those bonds, but at a loss in order to facilitate having more liquidity. Well, when word of that got out, people started pulling their money out quickly. And then the bank
And
failed spectacularly. It failed within 24 hours.
yeah, and a
By
lot of that had to do with Peter Thiel, correct me if I'm wrong, because he pulled out several billion, if
and called
memory
a lot of
serves.
people and told them get your
Get
money.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, by comparison, in 2008, and this will make your hair curl,
Mhm.
in the banking crash, the collapse of Washington Mutual, which was the largest and still is the largest bank failure in the U.S. history, because SVB is only the second,
Mhm.
and then the other bank that failed after that is third. That collapse took place over a period of 10 days.
Yes, that was a slow.
And the withdrawals were in the amount of $16.7 billion. SVB had attempts to withdraw $42 billion in one day.
Yeah.
That's the difference in size, and that's why people are pooping their pants.
Yeah, because it's much bigger than anybody realizes, and it could have that rather deleterious contagion effect where everybody starts to panic. Now, if you have your money in Canadian banks, relax. You've got nothing to be terribly concerned about. Canadian banks are as sound of an investment as you can make. At one point in time, it was well known that if you invested in a Swiss bank, you had nothing to worry about. That has since changed hands, and because of heavy regulations by successive and differing governments in this country, both conservative and liberal governments have regulated the banks heavily to the point where your money's safe. They just don't. They're very risk averse. When a Canadian bank takes a gamble on something, they've done their due diligence.
We hope that that's still the case.
Well, I can't guarantee anything, right? But
that's the typical. Now, it hasn't been for a lack of trying by certain more recent conservative governments.
Correct.
Because
remove the gatekeepers.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes. But yes, we are pretty much our system is safer because we are, more risk averse, and I mean, our system isn't that much bigger too, right? Like this, we can't. Our system is small enough that we can't absorb as big a shock. So we kind of have to be more cautious by definition.
True, but don't for one second think that Canadian banks are small either on the global scale.
Oh no.
Like Scotiabank owns most of South America and Central America, for that matter. Basically, it's been carved up by Scotiabank and RBC. You can do your research into that, but I remember getting off the plane in Costa Rica, turning around the corner and seeing a Scotiabank ATM. I was like, what? Huh?
Yep, I remember that too. Yeah, it was that kind of... Like,
I'm like, what? Wasn't I on a plane for like 4 hours? What the hell just happened here?
Right. I remember the first time I was in the U.S. and I saw a TD.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's cool. I'll be able to pay my Visa. And then I went in and my Canadian banking card doesn't work because it's not the same thing at all.
No. Well, I've been to the Royal Bank
TD,
branch,
and so does my card.
Yeah, but,
why do you not recognize me?
Well, when I was in London, I went to pay. I was at a pub and I went to pay for a round of drinks with a $20 Canadian bill. Guy says, I can't accept that. I go, it's got the Queen on it. Why not? He goes, yeah, you guys have a London too, but that doesn't matter. It's not the same. I need pounds. I'm like, all right, here you go. Can't blame a fella for trying. He chuckled. He thought it was, cute, even though he's heard it a million times before. But I'm like, come on, it's got the same lady.
Oh, man.
Now, mate, I need a 10-pound note for that.
Any other things you have, Mr. Grizzly?
Two more, actually. Two more quick hits. This one, interesting. Skilled foreign workers can stay longer. The federal government is letting people with post-graduation work permits, PGWPs, extend their stay in Canada up to 18 months. That will buy time for thousands of workers to try to become permanent residents and should help employers struggling to find talent in a red-hot labor market. The processing of permanent resident applications has been delayed over the last 18 months as the Immigration Ministry has struggled against a huge backlog. Which is to be expected. But I think this is sort of a stopgap measure, and I think it's a good one because trust me when I say this, I know an awful lot of skilled workers who have come to this country and contribute to it and have decided to make it home, but getting permanent residency takes some time.
Yep.
I like folks who've been here 2 years on a work visa have like, I want to stay. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you did just live through an Ottawa winter. Still want to stay. I'm like, cool. We're happy to have you. In my honest opinion, if you can live one full year in the city of Ottawa, go through an Ottawa winter and an Ottawa summer and still want to be here, automatic citizenship. Right. You know what I'm talking about. Brutally hot and humid in the summer. And brutally cold and damp in the winter, and you still want to stay? Well, congratulations. Here's your passport. Contribute to economy for the rest of your life. We appreciate you. Especially when it's somebody who comes from a nation that has a warmer climate than ours, right?
Yes.
You know, people who come to this country who spend a year in Ottawa, and the summer here, they're like, this is spectacular. It's just like home. I go, wait till you see January, my friend. And they still want to stay after that? Okay, well, congratulations.
Stick around.
Well, and you know, the first time they encounter snow, it's like, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I'm like, yes, it is, until you have to keep shoveling it. But
exactly. The snow is so light and fluffy. Yeah, try lifting it.
Yeah, wait until the first rainfall. Rain? It's winter. Yeah, we get that too. Yeah, it'll rain. Yeah. And then freezing rain. Oh, you've not met freezing rain yet, my friend. You're in for a treat that day.
And sleet. Ooh, you're going to love sleet.
Oh, and some days we get all 4 seasons in one day.
That happened on my birthday once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We had beautiful sun, and then we had like the sky clouded out, and it got really windy, and then we got this like major hailstorm.
Well, Saturday night we had a blizzard here for about 10 minutes?
Yes.
I'm not kidding. There was a snowfall warning all day Saturday, and then they pulled it, then they put it back, and they go, oh, we're going to get snow squalls. And sure enough, for about 10 minutes, it was a blizzard, a blinding blizzard.
Yep.
And then it was gone.
Yep.
And it was like nothing happened.
Yep.
What the hell was that?
We got the kids saying thunderstorms, thundersnow, and tornadoes. And now I'm waiting for someone to write snownado.
Snownado. Sharknado. At least it's not a Sharknado. Thank goodness for that.
And I wonder if that exists, a snownado.
A Snownado? Well, probably. I haven't seen one, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, come on.
If they don't exist, it wouldn't surprise me if they start popping up and within the next 20 years, given what's going on with the planet.
I've got one more quick hit for you here,
All right.
which I think you can appreciate. Biden comes north.
Yes.
On Thursday, U.S. President Joe Biden will make his first official visit to Canada since trekking over as vice president in 2016. Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau are expected to discuss defense planning, access to Canada's huge supply of minerals needed for renewable energy. That's going to be interesting. And the Roxham Road unofficial border crossing in Quebec. Biden will also give a speech to Parliament. I'm wondering, I've been living in this city for a very long time, so past presidential visits, visits by the Queen, the Princess, the Prince, security's been always very tight. The worst example I think I've ever seen was when G.W. Bush, George Walker Bush, George Bush II, when he came to visit, and we had riots in the downtown core. And you know, it's questionable who those people were. And Harper changed the laws which I thought was hilarious. You can't wear a mask in a riot. Well, if you're in a riot, aren't you already committing a crime? They're like, but there's a crime on top of the crime. If you're concealing your identity. I'm like, what about if it's a riot during COVID? When the provinces insisted that we wear masks. Can you charge me then? I was just standing here, man.
Yeah.
Like you see the hilarity in it, especially in the province of Quebec, where you can't wear a burqa. If you don't wear a mask, we're going to throw your ass in jail.
Yep. I know.
I can't make this up.
The lack of consistency is just...
That's the thing.
Insane. I mean, we have a whole other lack of consistency, you know, when it comes to, like, for example, all the talk about, potential interference by China in our political system, the People's Republic of China. But they're sitting there, everybody's talking about this foreign agent registry, right? Why did you have a foreign agent registry? And I'm sitting there at home and I'm thinking, okay, so is anybody else here noticing the inherent irony of the Conservative Party of Canada, who have spent decades telling us that a registry does not stop criminals from committing crime when it comes to guns, all of a sudden trying to make us believe that it will stop the Communist Party of the People's Republic of China from attempting to... So now we believe in registries?
Well, they have this thing called espionage. It's a spy game. They don't walk into the country and go, "Hi, I'm a spy. Hi, I'm spy."
Like, where do I sign in?
Yes.
Do you validate parking?
Here's my credentials. Xing Jinping, spy.
I mean, people wear out my weave. These people wear out my weave.
Well,
and then we got some good comments from. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I have one more for you.
Okay.
I'm just cutting and pasting it right now, and I'll have it. Oh, it didn't work. Hang on a sec. Sometimes the snip and sketch doesn't always work.
Okay. But we have some cool comments from the kits about some of the things we talked about already. Kit Linda says, our banks might be better protected, but broader volatility will affect people's pensions and investments that seniors need to live. And that's true. That's the concern, right? Is that, our banks might hold up better, but they're still going to be pulled out somehow.
Oh, yes.
Pulled down.
No, absolutely.
Because they won't go down as much, but they will be pulled down.
There will be a down.
Yep, there will be. And, I invest on a little bit on the side. I bought the dip, but now I'm starting to wonder if that was a dumb idea because they keep, they always say buy the dip. So, I mean, it was a pretty big dip. I mean, now I'm in the game for another 20 or 30 years before I retire. So, I mean, it has time to come back. But, but I'm sitting there and it's like, come on, man. We just went through 2008. Don't tell me I'm going to go through this again. We just finished recovering. Coming back to zero from 2008. Like, what the hell? I mean, all the hard work we put in over the last 15 years, we're just going to lose again?
Oh, I held on for 2 more years, and eventually I had to throw my towel into the ring and say, that's it, I'm done. My business was finished because I got nickeled and dimed to death, which is ridiculous because 90% of my work involves federal government. But, cutbacks, austerity measures. So here's the one where I have a little bit of Schadenfreude from David Wallace.
Yes.
At pick 61989, David Wallace from Open Source Media. Time to get back on the horse and ride. At Pierre Poilievre, you're about to have a very bad, terrible, revealing week. Let's see who has CCP dirty cash on their hands.
And that,
oh boy,
does that not fall in line with what we were saying last week?
Mm-hmm.
With all the talk that we've been hearing, we're in week 3 now, 4.
Yep,
above this. All the talk that we've heard about all the liberals, the first person who went down was a provincial conservative, and then we get this.
Oh, and David Wallace is going to bring the heat. Look, I got a big bag of popcorn and a bag of wieners. We're going to have a weenie roast, eat some popcorn, maybe toast some marshmallows. It's going to be fun.
I do not like this party. I've got a little hit from you. This is from the state side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, we love this person. You've noticed the sarcasm dripping, right?
Oh, Lauren Boebert.
Boebert. We all need to be speaking up against the political persecution of President Trump. This is not the time for silence. This is not the time for silence, tweets Boebert, who never shuts up long enough for us to enjoy it. Enjoy the silence.
It's funny because it's true.
I just can't with this woman.
Stop electing stupid people.
Why couldn't somebody found that Democrat 600 more votes? I mean, apparently that's what we're doing, right? We're calling people and just asking people to find more votes for us, right?
Apparently that's okay. If you're Republican.
Yes. Good morning, Kit Jen. And good day, Kit Pete. How are you, my good friend? I love you so much. Thank you for joining us. It's always wonderful to see you here among us. Kit Saucy, tell Borbert she needs to shut up and worry about her own house. Problem is that she talks so much she never
she refuses to listen.
And then we got
a conversation. I had a conversation with my mom about stuff like that last night. How you can present all the factual information, scientific reports, everything there is to back up your claim. It's been peer reviewed. It's been talked about for the last 60 years. I'm not going to tell you what the subject is. Present it to this person. They go, oh, no, that's not the cause. You know what? People are going to believe what they want to believe if they are so within their bias confirmation echo chamber. And if you hear something counter to your narrative, they refuse to believe it.
Well, let's put it this way, right? The perfect example of this is the whole Kaepernick thing in the U.S. Colin Kaepernick took a knee.
That's all he
why
did.
he was taking a knee to protest police violence and abuse.
And initially he sat, and then a soldier said, no, take a knee. Take a knee's respectful.
Okay, so he takes a knee. And then what happens is that every freaking wackadoodle who happens to be white, and then a couple of them who are not, who are deciding to aid and abet the white because they think that will get them some type of favor. But and we keep on saying like this, your devotion to the cause will not save you from what the white patriarchy has in store for you.
You'll be the last to get tossed off the ship, but trust me, you'll get tossed.
Not save you. They have plans for you.
Yeah.
Trust us. All right. But he takes the knee, and then you get all these people from all that thing going all over television and the radio, and anybody will hear, telling them what he really is protesting, the flag and whatnot. So you got a bunch of white people going into the mouth of a black man, pulling the words out, putting their hands into their own mouths, taking their words, shoving them down his throat, and they say, no, we'll tell you what you're really saying. Now, that is not the ultimate in racism.
No kidding.
No. What you say you're protesting is not what you're protesting. What you're really protesting is what we say you're protesting.
It's not quite how it works.
And that's the story that the nation went with.
Oh, yeah.
The white man's version of why the black man was protesting.
His story, not history. His story.
I'm just
to the victor go the spoils, and the spoils usually are they get to write the history books, which means they ignore the actual facts and just paint themselves in a good light.
Yep.
George Washington never chopped down a cherry tree. That story was completely made up.
But that's a typical conservative thing, right? Conservatives will always tell their people what it is the people they are against are really doing or protesting or saying.
Well, I got it.
Their word for why they're doing there is not good enough.
Well, and I shared that to be
the indigenous people protesting at the railroad track. Oh, it must be. Well, okay, we could ask the indigenous people why it is protesting, but
we'll just tell them.
Why bother with that?
Well, I had that
with that, and we could ask them, and then we do ask them, and we could take their word for it, but we could ask them and then spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to find alternative reasons and explanations and other people who know nothing about the culture to come on TV and tell them, no, what it really is all about.
Yeah. Well, we had that back and forth this weekend with somebody who said, this is what the Trudeau Foundation is. And I'm like, it doesn't say that anywhere on the website. It says nothing of that. You have to read between the lines and paraphrase. You don't know how to do that. No, you're inventing a scenario that suits your narrative that you want.
Yeah. Reading between the lines and paraphrasing is not the same thing as going into a text and omitting words of your choice and then adding the words of your choice to make what was said say what you wanted it to say or you needed it to say all along. That's not paraphrasing. That's not paraphrasing.
I'm reading what's there, and what you said is not in that statement anywhere. It's not there. Well, you just don't understand how to paraphrase. You created your own scenario.
English, and I comprehend reading.
Yes.
I cans read pretty good, and I cans English okay. Third cup. Here we go. And then we have this, Mr. Grizzly. This, again, I will not use the word that I'm thinking of but I'm thinking it, and you are. Sarah Fisher, the NDP will have an opportunity this week to show they value openness, transparency, and accountability over political advantage. Will Jagmeet Singh do what's right for Canadians, or will he help the Prime Minister continue his cover-up? Okay, one, we have not officially confirmed that there actually is a cover-up or anything to cover up, actually. Two, hello, Boo Boo Kitty, but your party had that option daily for over 7 years and you take it past every time. Don't smugly demand others do that which you will not.
Well, the alleged leaker.
What's wrong with you?
Apparently wrote a piece in I don't know where they wrote the piece. Was it in the National Post?
I think it was the Globe and
The
Mail.
Globe and Mail? Yes, it was the Globe and Mail. And somebody said, we need to defend these whistleblowers. I'm like, whoa. That's not a whistleblower. That's a leaker of secrets. This is a person who is in violation of their employment contract.
We still do not know the motivations behind. Now, the leaker let a few of them known in his text, or what this leaker claims to be. Of course, we don't know the leaker, so we can't cross-examine or verify.
We don't know if it's a man or a woman either.
Nope.
We have no idea.
We don't. Yeah. So again, why?
And it's not a whistleblower.
And again, why do you feel entitled to take those secrets and put them at risk?
Well, this is the thing. It's not whistleblowing. It's revealing state secrets while they're still investigating them.
Yeah, we have a whistleblowing mechanism.
Yes, we do.
Not the best one,
but we do, and it that could use improvement.
Yep,
I've been saying that for
far
a long
from
time.
the best one. Oh, a quick in and out from Kit Pete. Night, my friend.
Take care, brother.
Sleep well. I like it. He just pops in to say hello before going to bed.
Well, what time is it? 14 hours over there? What's the time difference?
I think something like that. Yeah.
I'll check it here. I got one of those application things on my phone. One of my phone things will do it. Let's see. Let's go with Melbourne. Melbourne. There we go. Yeah. It is 6:30 in the morning. Or no, 10:32 p.m. That was USA. Yeah, it's 10:32 in Melbourne. 15 hours. There you go.
Yep.
6:30 in the morning. That's in the U.S. Melbourne, Arizona.
Pardon?
Melbourne, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a great.
Yeah.
Couple more of this little. There's just been a lot of little interesting little things popping up here and there that I found good. This is the fun one that made me provoke a giggle. What I'm not hearing from conservatives: a list of people who they think would be better than Johnston. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A chorus of should be easy, right, Pierre? And then this interesting thing here.
What is
These
that?
are net approvals.
Saskatchewan, he's 22. Alberta, 12. Wow, that's low. Newfoundland, 1.
No, this plus. This is net approvals.
Yeah, I know. Plus
Positive
1.
minus negative.
Yeah.
So he's got 22 plus.
In Saskatchewan.
So that's decent, yeah. Plus 12 in Alberta, plus 1 in Newfoundland, Labrador, minus 10 in Manitoba, minus 10 in New Brunswick, minus 16 in BC, minus 19 in Ontario, minus 32 in Quebec, minus 35 in Nova Scotia, and minus 41 on PEI, minus 21 in urban areas, plus 4 in rural, minus 30 with women, plus 4 with men. So it's sort of like rural men, like PeePee, pretty much no one else does. And then, of course, somebody put a comment saying, hey, I'm a rural man and I don't support PeePee. Don't paint us all with that brush. And people, once again, rural men, if I write rural men and you choose to read all rural men, comma, without exception, that's on you, not on me.
You've missed the point.
You've missed the point. All right. The point was not if you feel vexed.
Well, and I was just about to chime in with what our good friend Saucy Seawitch Rhiannon says. Ooh, look at that. He forgot about Atlantic Canada and see what happens. Like most conservative leaders over the last, 15, 20 years, I don't need Atlantic Canada or the Maritimes to win. They completely disregard. It's like, yeah, you just keep shooting yourself in the foot, pal. Keep doing it. No, by all means, keep shooting yourself in the foot. That way we can assure you'll never be prime minister. I don't think he's going to be leader of the party this time next year. I think he'll be out on his ass.
I hope so. I
really
think
do.
that there's if that party had any amount of bench strength and bench depth, right? That would be one thing.
They don't.
But they don't. And I really just, who are they going to throw him overboard for?
Well, as I said in the past, the only one I think who could possibly would be Michelle Rempel-Garner. And I have a lot of issues with her, don't get me wrong.
But she's not in fashion right now among her
No,
own
she's
kind.
she is completely below the radar. Now maybe she's planning and biding her time. I don't know. This is my prediction that she'll make a run for it. I could be completely wrong, though.
Well, for all intents and purposes, I mean, she's a human leper in that party.
Yeah. Well, it's because she won't toe Pierre's party line. She will not carry his water. And again, I've got a lot of issues with her, but I do have respect for her at certain times. This is one of those times. She refuses to carry his water. She won't back him. She's also staunchly in support of the Alphabet Mafia.
Yeah.
And has come out several times and said so.
Yeah.
I know Leslyn Lewis wants to be leader of the party. That nutbar can't ever be elected to a position of power any more than she has right now, if you ask me. I think she's out of her freaking mind.
And depth.
Oh, that too.
There's a reason she ran for seats in Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Everybody says, but she's a doctor. She's a doctor of law. She knows the law inside out and backwards.
And lies
That's
about it.
Daily. That's all she knows about. And she bullshits about it constantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how good of a lawyer is she if she's lying right to your face?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lawyers aren't supposed to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Bend, change the language to suit their narrative, but lie? Not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. Mr. Grizzly, have you heard that there's apparently woke chocolate now?
Something to that effect.
Hershey?
Yeah.
Yeah, they started printing some labels called with her for she.
Yes, I did see that.
Like that. So, Mr. Grizzly, if you would, I went out and
picked some up. Did you?
Got myself some of that woke chocolate. The kid warned me. Says, "Be careful. PeePee will be accusing you of grooming or subterfuge." It's like, if woke chocolate is wrong, I don't want to be right.
It's
such
chocolate, people.
Tasty subterfuge.
It's chocolate.
And then some kit and I got bantering with some kit, and we changed subterfuge to subterfuge.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Got to get yourself some of that woke chocolate, kits.
Well, and I mean,
not only
what we should do,
but then you drive people out of their minds while you're eating it.
I'm thinking we should have Saucy Sea Witch package up the Jackson 5 chocolate party box and send that to Skippy for a gift. Say, this is a box of woke chocolate, and send it to the Pierre Poilievre's office.
You get more woke the more you eat it.
And you could label it as not just woke chocolate, but woke chocolate subterfuge.
I've got a lovely box of chocolates. 4 in a row.
Jackson 5 party box.
Jackson 5 party box. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love it. And we have this we're going to call him an honorary kit. I'm not sure if he listens on the show, but there's a Twitter account called Thunder Bay Ed. Now,
yes.
Thunder Bay Ed.
Don't know if it's a man or a woman. Don't care. Love their stuff.
Don't care. Love their stuff. Sometimes, I won't say not exactly on point, but sometimes I get an impression of maybe swinging for every pitch.
Yeah.
Some are not as good as others.
Agreed.
But this one was kind of interesting. If you would, Mr. Grizzly. Now, notice he's asked a question, and then how would I put it? I would say, notice how it tries to move on from the start to bring in someone else. Okay, there's a pivot there, but you have to know. You have to see it.
Can't hear it.
Man with City News. I just had a question related to a social media post a couple of weeks ago, and it's on housing, which is something you're talking about And it makes a point that it was 4 or 5 years for people to save up for a down payment before Prime Minister Trudeau came into power. I'm just trying to clarify. Are you talking about the year 2014? And if not, what period are you talking about? And do you stick by that claim that it took 4 or 5 years for people to save up for a down payment in 2014?
That claim is I don't remember exactly what post you're talking about. We have lots of posts, but here are the facts. When Trudeau took office, the average mortgage payment for an average new...
We're just going to leave it right there.
Yep.
That thing I wrote a couple of years ago when I said it takes people to 4 or 5 years to save up for an entire down payment in 2014, when that wasn't true. It took way longer than that. Well, the facts are we post a lot of things, but yeah, exactly. You say a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
That's your problem, honey. You say a lot of things. You're having trouble keeping track of your lies, buddy. Having trouble keeping track of your lies.
Pathetic.
It bothers me. The frequency, the comfort, and the ease with which he lies.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
so effortless on his part.
Casual. Right. Casual. Which led to this one. Which also very much made me laugh.
How was Poilievre separated from George Santos at birth? Well, they are cut from the same cloth.
Comment right underneath it, brother from another mother. Which is funny because it has levels, right? Because he's adopted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but...
Oh, come on.
There are
I
levels.
was the foster kid, so I'm going to go there.
Feel free.
And then there was this wonderful one from Pierre, which really pissed off a lot of people.
What? Did I miss one?
Oh, yeah.
I missed this?
We mourn with the families and colleagues of 2 police officers killed in the line of duty in Edmonton this morning. Never take for granted that our law enforcement put their lives on the line every single day to keep our community safe. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
True.
great.
Yeah. Right
Put
thing to say.
their lives on the line.
Oh.
He posted the police logo with the thin blue line thing on it.
They're not even allowed to wear that.
And they wore it at a recent hockey charity event, right?
That was their sweater. It was their sweaters.
It was on their hockey jersey. And they said, well, this was bought for us by an officer 10 years ago. We're perfectly happy to update the jersey. But turns out that there's a flag like this with the thin blue line in front of the headquarters of the Canadian Police Chiefs Association or something like that, or the Canadian Police Association. Not the police chief, the Canadian Police Association.
Yes.
The unions, the association of all the police unions, I guess. And they're not going to be taking that one down from outside the office's door. So they're basically trying to make us believe that the thin blue line is not a symbol of oppression and racism or whatnot, but a symbol to honor fallen officers. They're rebranding it.
Of course they are.
We know what it means.
I have lots of friends. Hell, I have family members that are police officers. This thin blue line thing started in the United States of America to counter Black Lives Matter. Why did Black Lives Matter come about? Because police officers in the United States shoot black people at random. I'm not making it up. It's a fact. They draw down so quick. Now, I mean, I will come to the police officers' defense in this one respect. The gun laws in the United States of America have gotten to the point where every time they pull over a vehicle of any type, no matter who the driver is, it is a risk that they're going to get shot. Because there's so many states where, you have to have a license to drive and 18 to vote, but just show up and buy a gun. So
Mhm.
it's a very convoluted situation in that country. But the Thin Blue Lives was designed to counter Black Lives Matter, which was in defense of young black men black women as well. Don't kid me. Don't get that wrong. Getting shot down by police. Shoot first, ask questions later. It's not a war zone, man.
Yeah. Now
Now,
that's
thankfully, the police officers in this country tend not to shoot first. Tend not to.
tend.
There are exceptions to the rule, and if you've noticed that usually those officers are brought up on trial and dismissed because they're taught the last thing to do is pull your weapon. You pull your weapon, you got paperwork to do. You fire your weapon, oh boy.
Right. Now, what we know of the Thin Blue Line, because of what happened with Black Lives Matter and whatnot, it's basically reemerged around 2014, used by the Blue Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
In response to Black Lives Matter, and it gained traction following the high-profile homicides of New York police officers Rafael Ramos and Wenjian Liu in Brooklyn. But it's also been associated with white nationalists, particularly at the Unite the Right rally in 2017, who flew Thin Blue Line flags at their rallies. But the term has existed for much longer. The term has existed since the mid 1800s.
Oh,
Of
yes,
course,
the Thin Blue
historically,
Line. Yes.
yes, it's derived from a formation of the 93rd Highland Regiment, foot of the British Army, at the Battle of Balaclava in 1854. And then it has evolved. According to Wikipedia, it says it's unknown when the term was first used to refer to police, but New York Police Commissioner Richard Enright used the phrase in 1922. In 1950s, Los Angeles Police Chief Bill Parker often used the term in speeches. He also lent the phrase to the department-produced television show Thin Blue Line.
Mm-hmm.
Then Parker used the term Thin Blue Line to further reinforce the role of the LAPD as the barrier between law and order and social and civil anarchy. The Oxford Dictionary records its use in 1962 by the Sunday Times, referring to police presence at an anti-nuclear demonstration. And then, but now it's being given whole other meanings.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and nowhere in this history is there talking about it, using it to honor the fallen. Nowhere in history. That's a new thing.
That is
That's
a new
2023 thing. It's not true. It's not true in any way. And for Pierre Poilievre to be going around, again, it's that thing, right? That one thing for the moderates, and that one thing for that red meat for the base. Right?
That's all it is.
I guess. And things like this, the Thin Blue Line. Now, I'm thinking
the red blue line?
No, I'm thinking Thin Red Line now, Glass Tiger.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was also a movie, The Thin Red Line.
Also, Terrence
Malick.
Yeah. So, Thin Blue Line, not the Thin Red Line, or not the Red Blue Line.
The red blue
lines,
line.
that's hockey now. Red line, blue line, red line, blue line. Right? Remember those drills?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you do them until you're about to vomit.
Yes, kids, I did play hockey. 2 years when I was a kid. Just two. Because my foster parents did not come and watch my matches. We were 5 boys. We all played hockey. And I got tired of standing on a street corner in mid-January at 5 a.m. in the morning waiting for somebody else's parents to come and pick me up.
I can understand that, yeah. Nothing like a 6 a.m. practice on a Tuesday.
You could tell I was already precocious, 8 years old. It's like I'm standing on a corner at 5 something in the morning waiting for somebody else to pick me up. This is not fabulous. Nope. This will not do. And then, of course, my one hockey story is I was a defenseman, left defenseman. Even though they did rotate me and play all positions. I played center and whatnot. Like this, the only one I didn't play was goalie, and I almost did one night. They called me one day and they said, you guys got goalie equipment because like 3 of the 5 boys are goalies. Like this, could you put on some pads? And I managed to find someone at the last second who actually was a goaltender, but I would have had an experience there. But never scored a goal, never got an assist. My plus minus was okay, and my only stat really is 2 penalty minutes.
Oh,
because I did not know how to stop. I was like, no brakes, no brakes. And somebody kind of like crossed my path. And so I checked them into the boards.
no.
And then I went to the penalty box and I basically cried for the 2 minutes because I really, really didn't mean to hurt anybody. And that's when I kind of figured out that maybe
Hockey's not your game. Yeah.
game.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody. Dude, part of your job as a defenseman is to hurt people.
But it was a no contact league. I was 9.
I know. That's why you should have played goal. I switched to goal in 1977.
I remember it like it's yesterday. I'm like skating towards the boards, and all I could do is like turn wide or bump into the boards and then push off again to stop.
Mm.
And I'm like, no brakes, no brakes. Gretzky, I was not.
Clearly. Oh, here's breaking news. Breaking news from CTV Your Morning. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has revealed his plan to address our country's doctors and nursing shortage. Fire the gatekeepers. I think that's about the extent of it, right?
And I give Trudeau 60 more days to hire more.
Yeah.
That's my plan. I'm so sorry. This guy's way too much.
It's too easy, right?
He's so bad. That's the thing, right?
You're not very good at this.
But that must be it, right? Because Trump wasn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, for people who lie with the frequency and ease that they do, you think that they'd be better at it.
Well,
They
one would hope.
But the thing is, I think that that's part of the thing, because they are so bad at it. I think it confuses people and allows them to believe that there's no way that they could be that awful, because if you were that awful like this, you'd be a much better liar.
Mm.
The hiding it in plain sight type thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to look too dumb to mastermind? I mean, they actually determined that Donald Trump Jr. was too dumb to crime in the States.
It's funny because it's true.
It's like I guess like nobody's above the law unless you're too dumb to crime.
Or too high. He's usually whacked out on the cocaine. He likes the Bolivian marching powder.
I'm at anyway. That one.
We're not going to laugh at somebody's drug addiction, but you know.
No, but I mean, like it's like just like it's at the point now where it's so ridiculous that it's just like, oh yeah, have another bump, Trader Tot. I'm just fuck. I don't know anymore, man. It's just
Well, this is like Linda's comment. You don't have to be good. You just have to shut out what people already want to hear.
Yeah.
Healthcare is provincial. I love it. That's some good back and forth in the chat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, today. Yeah. The chat is
it's very spicy. We got some spicy Monday morning chat going on.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot.
This spicy chat brought to you by the Pepper Master, hot fresh ingredients to stimulate your taste buds and expand your mind. There's just there was a by-election in Ontario last week for
there was
yes, right.
I didn't know anything about it.
Neither did I until it was all done. It was for former Ontario NDP leader Andrea Horwath's seat in the Hamilton area, and it remained within NDP hands. Candidate named Sarah Jama won the by-election.
I like that name, Sarah Jama. That sounds badass, man.
Yeah.
Sarah Jama.
It seems that there was a tiny bit of controversy during the campaign based on some comments she made about Palestinian human rights that a lot of people said were anti-Semitic. She said that the cause of Palestinian human rights should not be combined with anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Can't. Yeah,
Yep. Right.
It's a very complex, complicated issue. One that, in all honesty, I don't really feel qualified, nor do I have the right to actually comment on it.
Ditto.
I'm not Jewish. I'm not Palestinian. I don't live there. I don't fully understand what's going on.
Ditto.
So my 2 cents don't matter.
Yep.
Nor does anybody need or want it.
Yep. So I don't know what to do with that, but again, I just cannot keep on noticing the recurrence of parties that are left to the liberals repeatedly getting tripped up on the issue of Palestine.
Yeah. Like I say, it's a very complex, complicated issue. It's an international issue that I refuse to wade in on because I don't have the knowledge base or skill set to deal with it correctly. I'm not a politician and I don't work in international politics, so it's really not my area to make a comment. Because and somebody says, "Well, what's your thought about it?" And I go, "Don't really have a lot, honestly. I don't. Not every subject requires my input.
Right?
Some things are better left to other folks." Folks who know more about it. Folks who are, what's that magic word we like? Experts.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
I'm not going to, I saw a thing earlier this morning and I went, nope, I'm going to stay right out of that. It was about Halle Berry. I don't know if you saw what was trending for Halle Berry this morning.
No, I did not.
Go ahead and look it up. I'll wait. I don't want to say anything until after you've had a chance to look it up because it's kind of like, I looked it up and I just, Halle Berry is trending on Twitter. So I click on it and I go, why is Halle Berry trending? Oh, I'm not wading into those waters.
There's Halle Berry cheerfully presenting Michelle Yeoh, her Best Actress Oscar. They're the only 2 women of color to win the award at 95.
No, that's not it. No, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Look for some of the comments that people talk about Halle Berry. While you do that, I'll do this.
Okay.
Hot black coffee.
I'm not seeing it yet.
Well, hang on. Maybe I'll just share it with you on screen then once I find it.
No.
Halle Berry. Let me get my keyboard. I need a keyboard. So I got a keyboard right here. Halle Berry. And here's where the trend goes.
Is it about passing?
No. Oh, yes, that's what it's about.
Okay, so they're saying that she's passing?
No. What color is my shirt?
White.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They're saying that she's passing for white?
Yes.
Halle Berry.
Yep.
Who has ever mistaken Halle Berry for white?
Well, this is why she was trending. Because all these people are going, are you people high?
I mean,
nobody would ever mistake Halle Berry for being white. This one woman says Halle Berry is not black, she's biracial, white passing. Plus, she was Hollywood's favorite. Megan Good just talked about how hard her career has been by taking these types of roles. What? What? Halle Berry is a beautiful black woman, period. I understand her mom is white, but that's a black woman. A beautiful black woman who I've been in love with for decades.
I've never heard her referred to as anything other.
Biracial, maybe, but she's always identified as a black woman. You could say biracial because that would be factually correct, but I mean, she's a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder what they were saying about Megan Good as a result.
Well, here's the thing.
Because she was the movie I went to see yesterday, ironically, was the new Shazam. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's, yeah.
So I was like,
she is so stunningly beautiful. And I know I'm not supposed to say that, but oh my God, is she beautiful.
Right?
Like Megan Good is just breathtaking. Like breathtaking.
Yes.
I know I'm not supposed to make those comments.
Why not?
But, well, I'm not taking away from her ability as an actor. You're not
No.
supposed to comment on a person's appearance or body, but it's like every now and then you can pay somebody a compliment. She's breathtakingly beautiful.
Yes. In addition to.
The fact that she's a very talented actor.
Right. One doesn't boost or lessen the other. Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just
And
like
again, why?
Why?
Why? See,
Somebody
this is
jealous? There's only two women of color who've ever won the Best Actor Oscar.
Yeah.
Only two. And I have a photo of them right here. And I'm going to share it on the screen right now. Here's the first one. The lovely, beautiful, and talented Halle Berry. And the second one is the and talented Michelle Yeoh.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them have recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, Michelle Yeoh's career began as an action star, and she still does action at 60 and still could kick anybody's ass. But Halle Berry has been doing the John Wick films for the last couple of years and has become an action star in and of herself. Also, don't forget, she was in Catwoman, which was, okay, not a very good film.
Right.
It had a lot of problems, but damn, did she look good in that? And she kicked some butt in that film too.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that it's acting. But they still have to do all the exercises to get into the shape to make those moves without seriously hurting themselves.
Yep. And Mr. Grizzly, if you want, there they are together along with Jessica Chastain. Best human Jessica Rabbit.
Yes. Well, I love
because if they ever did a full live version of Roger Rabbit, she's Jessica Rabbit.
Oh,
and then this
Lance
here,
Reddick, just died.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Halle Berry.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that work, sister, work.
Can we go back to the three of them again for a minute? I have an imagination going on for a second. Okay, yeah.
Now, seriously, when I saw the pictures of like Halle Berry and Jessica Chastain together, like coming out to announce that award, I was like, oh, hello, 1930s high glamour.
Yeah.
Va va voom.
Yeah, that's when you're going like, I do play for the other team, but I can pinch hit if need, right?
It was more like, I want that dress. It would go great
with your crown. Well, this is true. This is true.
It's I was more like, girl, I would have loved to have dressed you. Which is probably not where 90% of the men would have gone with that one.
I'm just going to keep this. On repeat for about 5 minutes or so. We'll just let your imagination run wild there, if you will. There's a trifecta for me right there. That's right.
That's a very, very, very beautiful composite picture. Right there.
My goodness gracious!
Oh man,
3 Oscar winners too, right?
Right. That's a lot of talent
in
just a little bit of pixel. Lots of talent. Ah, man. I love that. Okay. Do you have anything for us, Mr. Grizzly, while I'm looking for our next thing here?
Well, I saw this and I went, oh, God. How can a man who holds the position of official opposition in Canada speak and gaslight like this on social media and anyone is okay with this? Do they think that this immature behavior would be a good representation of our country on the world stage? And from Skippy the Wonder Pigeon, woke left goes crazy when people point out the undeniable historical fact that National Socialists, in quotations, in Germany and Italy were, as the name proves, socialists. Fascism, socialism, communism glorifies the state over the people and always with the same horrific result.
No.
Like, God damn it, man, you're online. Punch it in the Googler.
No.
All three of them are diametrically opposed to one another, and you don't even have 3 diameters. Fascism and communism are at the opposite end of the spectrum, and so is socialism. Like, what the?
No.
Yeah.
No.
And people say, why do you want to smack them? Well, that's why. That's gaslighting.
No, and this is again, right? It's like the Nazis were socialists.
No, they were against socialism, actually.
The Democrats were pro-slavery back in the day. It's like
It was called the
we're the party
National
of
Socialist Party, but they were not
we're the party.
socialists.
Yeah, we're the party of Lincoln.
No, you're not. Lincoln is spinning in his grave.
Not anymore.
They're no more the
Not
party of
anymore.
Lincoln than the Conservative Party is the party of Joe Clark.
Just like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
No, I know.
Like,
Well, and
why-
the worst part is,
But when you feel the need to proactively come out and have the conversation about making that distinction,
well, this goes unaddressed. Like his next time he steps in front of the press, because he won't hold a press conference, but the next time he steps in front of the press, somebody should confront him about that. But it won't happen. And he'll just step aside, walk away, or no more questions, and leave. That's not how you get to do government, okay? You don't get to say whatever you want and then walk away. That is not democracy. You need to answer for a statement like that.
Well, here's another one.
What is
truly, air quotes, horrific partisanship is Trudeau's covering up the election help he got from Beijing and then appointing a, air quotes, family friend and member of the Beijing-funded Trudeau Foundation to, air quotes, rapporteur about it. And then he deleted it.
Because he knows that's libelous.
Okay, Trudeau is covering up an election. Has not even remotely been established.
Nope.
Not covering up election help he got from Beijing.
Who's Skippy going to throw under the bus and say, "Well, one of my minions did this"?
Again, what help did he get?
Yeah,
from Beijing.
Prove it.
Did he get? Then appointing a family friend and member of the Beijing-funded Trudeau Fund. A $1 million donation throughout the entire history of the organization.
I thought it was 200,000.
Well, there was a $1 million donation.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. $1 million donation that was split 800,000, I think, to the Université de Montréal in 2000.
200,000. Okay.
Trudeau Foundation, I guess. But that one donation makes the entire organization Beijing funded.
Well, I'm just.
Does that mean that the Conservative Party of Canada ever once in their history has accepted a political donation from somebody that was like they're them funded? Then they're Taliban funded, or NRA funded? Like, what is this, man? What is this? Okay, of course, he deletes the tweet.
Well, this is what I'm excited about this week. Time to get back on the horse and ride. Pierre Poilievre, you're about to have a very bad, terrible, revealing week. Let's see who has CCP dirty cash on their hands. TikTok, bitch. I shouldn't say bitch. That's not very nice. Punk. I'll call him a punk instead.
I'll call him a bitch.
You can get away with it where I can't.
Hold on. I'll call him a bitch.
There you go.
Had to forgot the emery board, kids. And then Pete tried some policy the other day because, we've been commenting that he, doesn't do policy. Well, let's watch PeePee doing a little bit of policy, shall we?
In order to,
Mr. Grizzly.
I will launch a massive series of lawsuits amounting to over $40 billion in claims.
Okay.
That's cute.
Always notice that before PeePee always says the word billion, he always stops. 40 billion. Government Trudeau spent $5 billion. He always takes a pause before billion. It's fucking annoying.
We will join British Columbia's lawsuit in order to recover the federal health costs that have resulted from Big Pharma's dirty and disgusting actions against our communities. We will launch a separate federal lawsuit to recover money that the federal government has had to spend on borders, Indigenous programs, policing, treatment, and other costs associated with this crisis. The people who profited from this misery should be the ones to pay the bill. It's about bringing home accountability.
So his policy for helping people suffering from addiction is to close all the supervised injection sites,
Yep.
which are proven to work, and they are facilities at which not a single Canadian citizen has died.
Not one.
From a drug overdose, but many of them have been saved from them.
Mm-hmm.
It's to counter safe supply, so as to guarantee that people who are suffering from addiction keep on having to dive into the unsafe supply. So he has no interest in keeping people alive long enough till they make the decision that they want to get into treatment. He still keeps on talking about treatment as if, one, he is not a conservative who doesn't believe in big, costly government programs and would fund treatment for everybody who needs it, so that when they are ready, they can, so that not because the treatment has to be there when people are ready and they can go into it right away. Right? So there's probably not going to be that enough happening. And he doesn't care to keep them alive long enough to make sure that you establish a connection with them long enough to make the transition from living on the street and in addiction to wanting to get into a program, a process that can take several months because it involves trust, if ever that happens. And since we can't actually just go up onto the street and just pick people up and force them into treatment, and even if we did, there's still not enough treatment beds, it seems that treatment is going to be reserved for only the people that can really, really, really afford it. And now he's saying before he funds that treatment, well, he's going to launch a series of massive, 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 massive lawsuits, up to $40 billion, which sounds very impressive, against, well, big pharma companies who are, well, extremely rich and who are lawyered up to the teeth and who can, we say, drag things out like for decades.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, of course, he has to first prosecute those cases and then, of course, win those cases. And then, of course, hope that the payout is going to be as big as the $40 billion he thinks when, let's see, the track record in the United States and Europe so far is that the settlements are nowhere near as big, even though the numbers are impressive, nowhere near as big as what they first went for. And then, and only then, after the core case has been dragged out for X number of years and you've ended up settling or get a judgment for much less than you thought and then pay off all the lawyers, then you've got money for treatment.
Didn't they already?
If you ever get elected, you would be booted by the time you would win that case.
Yeah. Well, didn't they already receive a settlement? Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's some.
Yeah, okay.
Some things. I don't know about Canada. I know in the United States for sure.
Sacklers, yeah.
Yeah. But this is his policy. He's been going out for months now talking about addictions and drugs, and his policy is, I'm going to sue. And then take the winnings and put that into treatment. But you got to wait until then.
Yeah, so in the meantime, people are dropping.
What's that sound?
I have no idea. I have no idea what that was. I don't know where it came from. No idea what it was. I'll pull the screen down while you do the investigation. I have no idea what that sound was or where it came from. It was bizarre. These things sometimes happen. Did you lose your signal?
I think it's something on my computer. I have to look for it. So just keep talking, Mr. Wisdom.
Oh, okay. Well, I just needed you to speak because I wasn't sure if I lost your signal or not. I don't know what it was. It sounded like the ocean. It just came right out of nowhere. It's not on my computers because I have a few of them on the go here. So I don't know where it came from. It's bizarre. Mr. Beaver says he can't hear me anymore. And the kids still hear me is the question. And I think they should be able to hear me because everything's operational here. Yeah, jump in and out and toggle. he's going to have to toggle himself on and off again because sometimes the old technology, as all you wonderful folks know, goes a little sideways. Well, thank you, Linda. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I think the issue must be on Mr. Beaver's end. I don't know what the issue is, but I'm just working on another thing here at the same time. Let's see if that seems to be working. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. So he'll just jump in and out. So it could have been an issue with some sort of piece of software on his end of things. And sometimes, like I said, that does happen. This is still I'm doing all the production work, right? So, until we are at a stage where we can hire somebody to do a lot of the production work for us, I have to do it all on my own. So there are times when the tech goes sideways and we try and fix it as quickly as we can in the only way we know how, which oftentimes is toggle this, toggle that. No, okay, jump in and out. And oftentimes that is what repairs it. So, and everybody could hear you and everybody could hear me. So whatever it was lost on your end. But I think check your camera settings because it looked like oh no, we're good now. It took a few seconds.
Yep.
It looked like you were coming in at 480p instead of 1080 for some reason.
Yep. Yeah, we're really weird. I never found out what it was, but it stopped. So
well,
there you go. Yep. But as soon as I turned off, put you on mute to go and look and see what it was, when I unclicked the mute, I couldn't hear you anymore.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sound just the sound coming in just disappeared. So sorry, kids. That's why I had to pop in and pop out just to sort of reset the sound. There you go.
Well, we might have to start doing stuff through NordVPN if this keeps up. If we start getting sideswiped, we might have to start doing that.
I think so. I think
because if we piss off the right people, they could bombard us, right? And I don't mean government. I'm talking about some, nefarious some of the freedom people. There's a few of them that know how to use a computer, but most of them don't.
Oh.
The government took my Facebook away. No, lady, that's not how it works. The government did not take your Facebook away. Your Facebook was taken away because you violated their terms of service, and they have every right to do that. So I want my Facebook back. Well, then maybe not break the Facebook rules. It's pretty simple, actually. Don't do this or you'll get booted. I'm going to do it anyway. Well, you're going to get booted. Congratulations, you're an idiot. You've won a prize. Tell them what they've won, Dave. Trying to do my best Alan Coulter.
So, yeah.
Well, they have won a trip to Abandoned Land, where you are no longer allowed to use our software or our social media platform until you can get your shit together and act like a responsible adult human being.
So that was PeePee trying some policy on pharma, and then Yado Geisbrecht, who we've used some of his TikToks on a previous one when we were the ones about Christine Anderson and all of that kind of stuff when she got really pissed off at PeePee. Here's another interesting one, Mr. Grizzly, of PeePee sort of speaking some type of policy.
Can you go full screen on that, sir?
I'm going to try and do that. I do not know why your screen is showing something different than mine is.
No, on the window. Just click on the video window. I've got the whole Twitter page is what I'm seeing.
Okay. Take that one down because it doesn't. What's on the screen is not what's on mine.
Okay. So unshare and then reshare. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try that again. There we go. That's more like it.
Okay. So blow that up and away we go.
So it says Pierre Poilievre invites CSIS to look into conservatives that have allowed foreign dictators to interfere in their internal affairs. So clearly the heat is coming on. He's trying to say, oh, no. I want people to look into my stuff too if there's anything happening on my side, right? Okay. Now, tell me, after watching this, if you are convinced.
We invite CSIS. I invite CSIS to let me know if there is anyone who's interfered within the Conservative Party, and if I see evidence that is the case, provided to me by CSIS, I'll be taking strong action to make sure that doesn't happen, and that anybody who willingly did so, willingly worked with a foreign dictatorship, would obviously have to be removed from our party.
And as he's saying that, there's little images all over the place of Nazi brunch.
Yeah.
And everything related to that.
Isn't that cute?
And he had so much trouble getting those words out, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That was just 25 seconds. That's a lot of stuttering and stammering and tripping over your tongue and ums and ahs and not free flowing of sentence coming out of your mouth.
I wonder
something
why.
We're taking such a strong position, inviting CSIS to come and take a look to see if there's anybody in your party and committing right away before you even know what it is that they would find out, because you know they're going to find something that you're going to.
That's adorable. Oh, Skippy,
We
what
know
tangled
you're
webs
not
we do
gonna
weave when first we practice to deceive.
Somebody please dig. Let's go digging. Let's go
Well,
digging.
I like
Let's go
Elaine's comment here. How cute. He thinks that he needs their permission to look into things. That's not how it works.
And of course,
and by the
it
way,
was- yes,
CSEC or CSE has everything on everybody. Trust me when I say this. Someone in the know. You are familiar with two organizations in the United States of America, the CIA and the NSA, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The NSA are the super snoops with the biggest computer systems for cryptography, for
Right.
spying. For spying is what they do.
Right.
CSIS is akin to the CIA, and CSE used to be CSEC. It was CSE, then CSEC, and now it's back to CSE.
Yes.
They are the NSA of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. That's all I can say.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
Yep. And that it was a windy day. You see that sign shaking and moving all around?
Mm-hmm.
That was a little symbolic, wasn't it?
You think? It's borderline Freudian, but I mean, it wasn't him doing it, so it's just. What's the symbology there?
You might want to
Symbolism. The word you're looking for is symbolism. Symbolism.
You might want to take one or two steps to the left or the right, Brother Poilievre. Lightning. just
Does
saying.
it strike twice? Oh, it may.
Just saying.
It may.
Just see God like throw lightning down. Now dance. Michael Jackson. Barishnikov. I can't
Move your
remember
body.
what that movie that's from, but some guy was shooting at some guy's feet and making him dance. Michael Jackson.
Bunch of movies. Tons of movies. Lots of movies. All the movies.
Oh man. Somebody put that shaking sign looks a bit. What is going on there? Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Poor PeePee. Poor
Yeah.
PeePee.
I concur.
I love the kids know me as a kind and gentle soul who wants nothing but the best for everyone.
Yeah, once in a while, bad things happen to bad people. I don't feel so terrible about it. I should not be, Schadenfreude, but, it happens. It happens. You painted yourself into a corner when we told you you're going to paint yourself into a corner. You did it anyway. Well, I have no sympathy. I told you not to do that. You did it anyway. So guess what?
Kids,
You reap what you sow.
I am but a mortal beaver. And I am
true.
weak and I have feelings like everybody else.
We've been watching bad people get away with bad things for a long time now.
Right.
And when they get punished for the badness that they've done, we start to have a little bit of glee about it. Now, I know we shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
We shouldn't. But I am only human after all. And watching people suffer under the bad things that these bad people have been doing for a long time. And when they get their comeuppance, when they get their comeuppance, I feel good about it. It's like justice has prevailed. And the comeuppance is coming for him.
Like the kids. See, this is why I love the kids, because they always so validate me. Kid Elaine, Queen Snuggles is beyond awesome. Kid Linda, we also know the bitchy queen inside, and we love Oh, McQueen. I love you, kids. You so get me. Oh man.
Well, yes. I need some coffee.
How strong do you want your coffee? Me, I want it to show up on a drug test. Oh man. Okay, let's finish with some good news.
Yes, I think we could use some good news. It's kind of a bizarre news day.
Yes, really, eh? Holy
It
crap,
really
okay.
has been, and we barely scratched the surface today.
Oh,
There
yeah,
is.
the International Criminal Court coming up with official is it an indictment, or I'm not quite sure, but I mean,
Well,
they're naming Putin.
let's talk about
They're
Jimmy
naming-
Carter.
They're naming Putin, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter, and how they the Republican Party fixed the election by going to Iran
1980.
Iran
Yeah.
in 1980 to say, hold on to the hostages, so that way Reagan will get elected and he'll give you more. They sabotaged Jimmy Carter's election campaign.
So they've been evil for decades.
Well, and look, as we talked
Hold
about,
the hostages longer.
Hold the hostages longer.
Hold the hostages longer. Please.
We talked about this
hostages longer.
with our pal Jake about how Reagan was the worst president in U.S. history because he basically destroyed their once great democracy and handed it over to corporations. So,
right.
Oh, other item in the news: Rebel News is in a little bit of hot water with Canada Revenue Agency.
Tell, I do not know about this one. Please.
Yeah, I don't have all the details, but apparently, according to Ezra Levant, he's trying to distance himself from their fundraising arm, and CRA is getting ready to audit them because, I think they've been behaving badly, as the story goes. See if I can find it on the Twitter. There's a thing I saw.
Now, there's something I'm hoping that there will be some contagion for, because if I remember correctly, I think it's the people who share our name, True North, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a podcast. They are a nonprofit, but they are not a nonprofit because they registered as a nonprofit. They are a nonprofit that some organization came in and bought and acquired and then changed. So they took the nonprofit status and then changed the entire mission of the organization, and they're still filing as a nonprofit. But apparently the CRA hasn't received any documents in quite a long time.
That's correct.
And they're still operating. So, again, how many chances do they get?
Well,
because I'm pretty sure if it were us, we'd be
done already.
Yeah. Done already, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the tweet. It sure seems like folks at Rebel News and the Democracy Fund are getting nervous about defending their iffy charitable tax status. Link to full article in the Internet Wayback Machine to not give Rebel News any clicks. But it gets weirder. Rebel News. And so allies applied to the Canada Revenue Agency setting up the Democracy Fund. I'm not a director and I'm not a staffer of the Democracy Fund. It's at arm's length from Rebel News. This is Ezra Levant speaking. But allies applied for charitable status for a civil liberties project to promote and defend constitutional rights like freedom of association, freedom of mobility rights that were infringed upon during the lockdown. We never had a lockdown. And so allies applied to the Canada Revenue Agency. I myself am not a director and I am not a staffer of the Democracy Fund. It's an arm's length from Rebel News. That's twice he said that in the same statement. But allies applied for charitable status for a civil liberties project to promote and defend. He's just repeating himself over and over again. This is bizarre. So would you believe it when I say that the Democracy Fund has taken 2,100 cases in the 2 years since it debuted? In fact, it just turned 2 years old this month. 2,100 cases. Not all of them as spectacular as Pastor Arthur's, but some of them have been. Now, Pastor Arthur is Arthur Pawlowski, who is just got arrested the other day, and Theo, our sad Canadian story of Theo Fleury, who said, "This is a disgrace." No, Theo, the guy broke the law. He was in violation of his bail rights, so he was arrested. When you break the law, you get arrested. That is what happened. So anyway, it looks like rebels in a big panic, and they're trying to spin it whichever way they can. And this is compliance and audits. This is from the Canada Revenue Agency. I'll post this in just a second. So it says, on top of misrepresenting the history of the Democracy Fund, Ezra Levant goes on out of his way to insist that the Democracy Fund is an arm's length away from Rebel News. But if that's the case, he's openly admitting to violating a basic CRA charity regulation, and that is thus. Important. Do not lend your charity's registration number. A charity is responsible for all receipts issued under its name and registration number. It must account for the corresponding donations on its annual information return and in its books and records. Under no circumstances should a registered charity issue donation receipts on behalf of another organization or lend its registration number to another organization for receipting purposes. A charity that lends its registration number may have its receipting privileges suspended and or lose its registered status. So, bye, bye, Miss American Pie. I'm looking forward to the perp walk. I know we don't do that here, but it would be fun to see.
I want one. I want one. One of the happiest days in recent memory was seeing Dean Del Mastro in handcuffs. After nearly a decade of Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We did see that. I wouldn't call it a perp walk, but it is.
No, because journalists came in and found the alleyway, and they were trying to keep it all hidden. They found the alleyway and got the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't, like I said, we don't do perp walks, but it just so happened in that instance. Yes. Yeah.
We had some intrepid journalists who actually committed journalism and got us the picture. I love using
Ezra's in hot water with the CRA.
I love using that one because every time they talk to us about the Trudeau government is so corrupt, it's like, yeah, just remember this guy?
Well, every time something comes up, what well does Skippy go to all the time?
Blackface and corruption. Mm-hmm. And there are images of conservatives in blackface as well at fundraisers.
He dropped that one. No, never brought that up.
He doesn't show those pictures. He only shows them from one side.
Of course not. Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, it's not good. Not good. So, yeah. Like I said, we pointed out on the other one, right? Andrew Scheer asking for full transparency when we still don't know what the nearly $1 million man did with. It's like
full transparency, except not me. Don't look over here. Don't look over here. Don't look over here. What is on my finger? I got black dirt on my finger. Oh, there we go. We're gone now. Funny, I hold it up the camera. Like, what is all over my finger? I don't know. It might be a tumor. It's not a tumor.
It is not a tumor.
No, it's just dirt.
And I don't know if you heard about this one here, Mr. Grizzly. This is from the States, but yet another case of the people that cry most about something are the
where'd it go? Oh, there
people
it is.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Tennessee Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally apologizes for commenting on suggestive Instagram photos. Tennessee is the state that is trying currently to outlaw drag.
Yes. Yeah.
Tennessee's Republican, of course. Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally has apologized for routine comments he left on the suggestive Instagram posts of a 20-year-old gay man and other members of the LGBTQ community. I have long been active on social media. I have made a point to engage with people not only in posts, but in comments and messages as well. My comments to Franklin, McClure, and others, which have recently drawn so much attention, are no different, said McNally in a statement to CBS News. I take pictures with a lot of people. I have meetings with a lot of people. I have long been active on social media. Yeah, not an excuse.
Reminds me of what was his name in New York State? I'm not gay. I never have been gay.
Yeah.
He looked and sounded like Dr. Evil. Yes.
Roy Cohn, yeah, who then died of an AIDS-related illness.
Oh, did he?
Yes, Roy Cohn?
No, not the lawyer. No. This was a senator.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, who you're talking about? It's not coming to me top of my head.
He was the guy who was in the men's room stall.
Minnesota, Larry Craig.
Yeah, that's what it was. Larry Craig. Yeah.
Yes, I have a white
stance. I'm not gay. I never have been gay.
If ever I have a kid, I swear, just for shits and giggles,
every time we go to the public bathroom, I'm gonna like train them that when they go into the bathroom to close the door and just pull the pants out. I have a wide stance.
How wide does your stance have to be, dude? Like, are you doing the splits on the toilet? Because holy shit, man.
Okay, it's like, again, I'm from the culture. I have been in a stall where with somebody with a wide stance next to me, doing his best Gregory Hines tap dance routine under the stall. Like, hey, over here, tap tap, over here, look over here, tap tap.
It's happened to me, and I'm not a member of the party, and I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing? Oh, sorry. I didn't know what it meant.
Right.
I just saw his foot come underneath, and I go, excuse me, what are you doing? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant.
I'm sitting there, but the thing is, like, I've never understood that, because it's like you're sitting there, it's like you get to see one of my shoes. Does that turn you on enough?
Well, apparently the toilet I had gone to use that particular day was a notorious cruising spot. I didn't know this. I just needed the toilet, and I happened to be in that building, and then I found out later. I'm like, I was just, I don't know, talking to a friend, and I go, yeah, this weird thing happened today. The guy stuck his foot under my stall when he goes, oh, where were you? And I told him, and he goes, oh yeah, that's a notorious cruising spot. Yeah. And then several years later, he goes, remember years ago when you had that conversation with me? I go, yeah. He goes, hang on. And he sends me a couple of videos. I'm like, whoa. That's full-fledged gay male porn in that stall.
Yes.
That is a cruising spot. Okay. Well, okay. I'll know not to use that toilet ever again.
You could use the toilet. Just wipe the seat.
Well,
and maybe the walls.
Well, and maybe the walls. My soul. It's just kind of like, well, I don't want to interrupt anybody if they're, in there having relations. I don't care. They want to have relations. Have relations. It's a men's room. I don't give a shit.
Yep. So McNally says the comments ranged from hearts and fire emojis, ooh, to text-based messages like one telling McClure, "You can turn a rainy day into rainbows and sunshine." But he's against drag.
Well, what was it? Somebody pointed out that Sarah Poilievre
compensation.
Sarah Poilievre accepting her Oscar in a man's tuxedo, traditionally seen as a man's tuxedo. She would be arrested in Tennessee.
Yep.
I think Sarah Poilievre being Sarah Poilievre did that with intent to send a message, right?
But back in the day, right, in the 50s, 60s, when you were meeting at the Queen's clubs and whatnot, there was a rule that you had to be wearing like at least 3 pieces of clothing that were like of the gender that people would associate by looking at you. So like, it's like, again, could you like the raids? It's like, let's say you were in a dress, like, so you hike it up to show that you're wearing Fruit of the Looms underneath and wearing like tube socks along with the heels. Like what? Just how they write the rules.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's not 3 pieces of clothing. Now it's if you're trans, you just can't go pee anywhere in public.
Well, it makes me beg to question if they call that drag. So, stockings and garters. Does every player in the NHL get arrested now?
Ooh.
Because you're wearing stockings and garters.
And it continues. While I see now that I should have been more careful about how my comments and activity would be perceived, my intent was always engagement and encouragement. To do what? I apologize for any embarrassment my postings have caused my family, friends, and colleagues. For this reason, I will be pausing my social media activity in order to reflect and receive more guidance on the use of social media.
In other words, old Larry's been in the closet for decades and wants to come out desperately before he kicks the bucket by the sounds of things. I mean, that's my interpretation thereof. I could be completely wrong. Maybe he's bi. I don't know. Or maybe he just really wants to support gay men. That doesn't sound right.
In addition to his comments on McClure's photos, McNally also engaged with half-naked photos of men, pictures of drag artists, and selfies of trans women from his verified Instagram account. Condemnation of the apparent difference between McNally's comments and his political track record was swift on social media, and Saturday Night Live even parodied McNally on its Weekend Update segment over the weekend.
While I have made some mistakes in my use of social media, the characterization of me and my record as somehow anti-gay is inaccurate. Or maybe I think your
What?
characterization of yourself as anti-gay is inaccurate, honey.
Wow.
On a personal level, nothing could be further from the truth. Oh, denial. It is
It is-
not just a river in Egypt.
Exactly.
Mm. Sure, Cleopatra. Keep talking. I believe every person has value and deserves respect regardless of their orientation, and that's why I've been spending the last 20 years of my life trying to make their lives hell.
Well, this is the complete, like, wait a second, dude. If that's true, then why are you such a horrible human being when it comes to people's rights in the state that you reside and govern in?
Overcompensation.
That's not the first time we've seen that. Butch it up. You got to butch it up, right? You got to butch it up so you look tough.
It's like fag it up, bitches. Fag it up.
Are we going to see photos of him in a lumberjack jacket chopping wood soon?
Seriously, man.
Grow your beard, lower your voice, and chop some wood.
And of course,
there's a whole other genre of gay porn that goes right into that too.
Yes. And then Mr. Grizzly, of course, direct from Central Casting. This is Randy McNally.
Well,
looks exactly what
like
you would expect.
Yeah. We're not picking on him. Just pointing out the facts. Just the facts.
You know, every now and then, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but every now and then I wonder if it's because these people get themselves to such a state where women don't want them at all, and they still have needs. So then they decide, well, let's go. You know, it reminds me like when I was younger, and you know, as a gay guy, always like really wanted a straight friend, guy friend to do stuff with, right? And like watch a hockey game, play sport, you know, that type of stuff, right? And then always invariably you would get that conversation somewhere along the way, like, I don't mind being your friend so long as you don't make a pass at me.
Dude, I'm not attracted
and I'm
to
like
you.
thinking, but here's the other thing, right? It's like, okay, that's a fair deal so long as that, you know, when your girlfriend or your wife is not putting out, that you don't start looking at me and say, hey, you're gay. What?
Yeah. Yeah. No
Okay,
kidding.
let's make that one a two-way street.
Yeah. It goes both ways. Yeah.
Right? I won't make a pass at you, but when you're hard up, you don't look at me as the convenient one, okay?
Yeah. Grab a hold of the gear shift here. No. Doesn't work that way. No.
Yeah. the things that people say sometimes, right? And it's like, they don't really, it's like, do you?
I saw a really.
This is not a one-way deal, honey.
I saw a really funny skit the other day on was it TikTok? I think it was. It was hilarious. So if I could find it, I'd pull it up. But I don't know where the hell I saw it. I can't remember where I saw it. Anyway, it was this gay Asian male who was with his three straight women friends, and he says, some days the drama is just too much, and then he shows moments of drama with the women. He goes, you know what I decided? Somebody said, have you ever tried straight males? So he started hanging out with a dude. They're playing video games, drinking beer. He says, here's what, there's no drama. There's no stress. Watch this. Yeah. So I just, I took a job the other day in Europe. I'm going to be gone for 7 years. Okay, brother. See you when you get back. Then he tells the women, oh my God, what are we going to do? It was really funny. Okay. Ladies, I'm not picking on you. I'm not. It was comedy, and it was funny.
My beaver sweetie, like this, before we moved in, because actually this is what led to us deciding that we were going to move in together. But we were in our second year of dating, and gives me a call in January and says, I just went to this information session thing from the Embassy of Japan. They have some scholarships program for an exchange with Canadian students. You're applying, right?
Yeah. What?
was like, well, they have this, like, you're applying, right? Well, I'm doing it. Sweetie, what you are researching, I do not understand everything about what you're researching yet because it'll be 2 years and it took me about 6 years to figure it all out. Explaining it to me. Yes. But I'm smart enough to know that what you're doing is very, 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 very sexy.
And important to you.
Yeah. And well, important to you, but very, very sexy. And pretty much everybody's going to want it. So if
Go,
you apply,
go.
you're pretty much going to be accepted. I am pretty sure. So you are applying, right? And he did, and he got accepted, and he went to Japan for 3 months and did some research, and it led to a paper, and right. So, and now he's got contacts there. So, it's 3 months. It's 3 months.
Yeah.
And then, which could maybe have a benefit for the rest of our lives together. It's like,
yeah,
go. I spent the whole last. I did a whole last summer in Ottawa celebrating stuff, doing all the tourist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The World Cup of Women's Soccer was on. I went to see England versus Norway. I went to go see the Pan Am Games in Toronto. I had a blast. I mean, I missed him,
No, of course.
but I didn't give myself much time to miss him, to be totally
Keep
honest.
busy. Keep busy.
So I had dinner with my friends. I'm going to be moving away, and I don't know when I'm going to be back. So,
well, this whole thing was just done as a caricature thing, right? I mean, it's like,
right.
It was not meant to be taken seriously. It was a joke. And I laughed at it because I thought it was very funny. Pardon me, very funny.
Mm-hmm. And I have another story here, but you know what? I'm going to wait till tomorrow to bring it. But it has something to do with this Saskatchewan party having mismanaged the Delta wave of COVID. Because using a Freedom of Information request, Global News has obtained an internal government messages that showed that Dr. Shabab, who was their chief medical officer, told provincial leaders that the healthcare system would be overwhelmed more than a month before patients had been started to be transferred to Ontario during the Delta wave.
Oh.
And Mo did not react.
I have something here I got to show you. It was posted a few hours ago, but wow. You got to see this.
Okay.
This is a bit of a shock. Let me just blow it up a little bit here because, oh my. Why Doug Ford's government spends more than $6 billion a year subsidizing hydro rates. Ontario's budget for reducing electricity prices exceeds spending on long-term care. When Premier Doug Ford's government tables its new budget on Thursday, expect to see more than $6 billion devoted to subsidizing hydro bills. Although previous Liberal governments also spent taxpayer money on lowering electricity prices, Ford's progressive Conservatives have taken it to such a level that it is now one of the single biggest line items in the Ontario budget. 2022-2023 provincial budget earmarked $6.3 billion for electricity cost relief programs, nearly 4 times as much as the $1.6 billion Kathleen Wynne's Liberals budget for such programs in 2018.
He's hiding stuff.
Forum's PCs blame the size of the spending on green energy contracts signed by Liberal governments that lock the province into paying wind and solar producers above market prices for generating electricity. It's suspect. What's he hiding? It's suspect.
He's hiding the real cost of energy.
Of course he is.
We're paying for it anyway.
Yeah. It's like, well,
it's just not on the bill now, but we're deferring it like this was $6.3 billion plus interest and compounding.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that keep on talking about the debt that we're leaving to our kids. He's not making people who consume the hydro now pay the cost of the hydro now. To create the illusion of lower high hydro rates.
Yeah, it's an illusion. That's all it is.
He's got 3 more years.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be doing this now.
Well, Linda's comment here.
Money.
They do this, yet keep approving higher hydro rates. It makes sense. I'd like to. I wish I could. I can't.
Yeah. And this is, if you, Mr. Grizzly, just a little visual. It's a graph that I saw. But life expectancy versus healthcare expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
We're over here.
Yeah.
Canada. In the bunch. with everyone, with Israel, South, Spain,
France,
Italy,
Sweden,
South Korea,
Norway,
Japan,
yeah.
Switzerland, all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the USA's, they're way off from everybody else, and now
Their life expectancy has
it's even
dropped.
it's dropped a little bit
Mhm.
during COVID.
Yeah, they spend more per capita than any other nation on earth on healthcare, and yet they get less for it.
And this is what Ford and Smith are bringing to us.
And they
This
keep
is what they
saying
think we deserve.
single payer healthcare doesn't work. 32 of the 33 most industrialized nations on earth have somehow figured it out, but America can't. And Dougie wants to bring in private for-profit care. Oh, and boy, is that blowing up in his face in the last few days. He's going to find himself. We'll save it for later because I've got to do a little bit more reading about it before I bring up the topic.
Okay.
But there's some interesting things that I've seen online the last few days about how rules and laws have been broken and people have been ripped off. And yeah, the fecal matter is going to fly across the room and into the fan. The fit has hit the shan.
Good. Time for people to start reaping what they've sown.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some news about some Canadians who have done us proud in order to end this up really well. Sorry, excuse me, got a cough.
You missed the mute button. There you go. You got it that time.
There we go. All right. In alpine skiing, our skiers, once again, kicking ass, taking names, doing some really, really good stuff. Mr. Christie, if you would put it up there. In the women's slalom in Soldu, Andorra, Amelia Smart and Ali Nolmeyer took the 11th and 12th places in that race. And that leaves Amelia Smart at 22nd and Ali Nolmeyer at 17th in the race for slalom for the Crystal Globe.
Okay.
We have 2 Canadians in the top 30 in the world as in the slalom, in the women's slalom, which is very good. And then Val Grenier, who we talked about on the last show,
Yes, I think
previous
so.
show.
Yeah.
She finished 6th in one race, picked up a 3rd.
Yeah.
I think it's her second or third medal of the year. She is 7th in the giant slalom standings.
So she's climbing the charts.
Yep. If you are a fan of basketball, well, then the NCAA tournaments have started in the United States.
Crazy March.
Yes, Crazy March. Is that what they call it?
No, March Madness. That was a Trailer Park Boys thing.
It's March Meshuggah.
It was Ricky. Crazy March.
Meshuggahs.
Something.
I think it's Meshuggahs. Yes, March Meshuggahs. So yeah, apparently there are no fewer than 53 Canadians playing in the NCAA men's and women's tournaments combined. I remember when we had like 1 or 2. It's like, oh my God, there's a Canadian playing in the entire world. There's one. Yeah. Turn on your TV.
Now there's
watch
a lot.
53.
And we can directly thank the NBA franchise, the Toronto Raptors, as a direct result of that. Because when you have a team in your town, it really, and look, it's been proven that if you have a team in the city that you live in, it encourages others to start playing the game. For example, Austin Matthews, where's he from again? Oh, that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he from Las Vegas?
I would not know if that's where he's from originally. Not at all. Sorry.
He is a U.S.-born player. I'm just looking it up here right now. He's from San Ramon, California. Austin Matthews, one of the premier players in the National Hockey League, from California. Did you ever think that day would come when a California kid would be the number one draft pick, let alone one of the top players in the NHL? And here you are, having a team close by really does influence you to want to do it, play better, get better. And look, what's the one school in there's a high school in Toronto that is basically funneling kids right into the NBA. Oh
yes, yes.
I want to say St. Michael's, but that isn't it. So there was always St. Michael's, which was a great hockey program, but I can't remember the name of the school. But
isn't it in Brampton? I think.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
Specifically. Yeah.
Brampton or Markham, I can't remember. GTA. It's all Toronto, really. I know now people in Toronto are going to go, no, it's not. I live in Brampton. I live in Mississauga. It's all Toronto to people outside of that area of the country, okay?
All right. Now, this is a guy we've talked about a lot
Mikhail?
on the show. Yes, the King, Mikhail Kingsbury. This was in earlier March when we had reported that he had won another World Championship medal, if you would, Mr. Grizzly. Back home, my 13 World Championship medals reunited together.
13.
Okay, first of all, I'm amazed that he can like sit upright
Yeah.
with the weight of them
No kidding.
together. And this young man won his 22nd Crystal Globe on on March 17th.
The greatest mogul skier that's ever lived, bar none, period.
Bar none.
And it's not even up for debate.
Yeah.
Oh, you got his run here? Oh, show this. This is spectacular.
This is his run in Kazakhstan.
Doing the jelly roll.
Yep.
Oh.
There you go.
There's a reason they call him the king.
Yep.
Look at that. Perfect right? Form.
Perfect cross.
Like perfect.
Isn't that great?
Oh, man. I wish I could ski like that.
Tell me about it, eh? He, it seems that along the way of doing that, he basically swept the globes this year. He won all 4.
Well, his winning percentage is unassailable. Like there's nobody even close. What is he at 63% now or something like that? It was 59.
I don't know what it is. No, it was 71% when we showed it.
Is that what it was? Oh,
yeah.
Well,
it was ridiculous. Yeah. So sweeps season titles with dual moguls gold and Almaty. And if you show this image, I'm surprised he's got enough arm reach for all these. 4 Crystal Globes in one season. Incredible. Representing his moguls, dual moguls, overall World Cup titles.
Yeah. And
that was in 2022, and he repeated the sweep in 2023. So 2 years in a row.
He still finds joy in it. Yeah. He still finds joy in it. And he's almost 30.
Yep.
Usually 30. A mogul's, he is 30?
He's 30 now.
Usually a mogul's career, you're done by this point because he's been doing this since he was like 12 or something like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He's phenomenal.
He's so good.
It's frightening. It's frightening how good he is. It's amazing. I can't imagine being that dominant in anything. And then we have a new Mr. Grizzly. Hold on.
Wrong screen.
I'm
like, we just looked at that.
There we go. Now we've talked about this lady, Alexandria Loutet, ski jumper.
Watch this.
Won a gold not too long ago. Now world champion.
Look at that run. No way would you have me doing that.
Not I either.
And I want to try ski jumping, but when I look down that ramp, I'm like, nope. Wow. That was a monster.
Jeez.
I mean, I've always wanted to try ski jumping, but when they show that vantage point of looking down that ramp, I'm like, no. That's a tighten your sphincter moment. And I've skied double black diamond mogul runs, like on really treacherous. But the difference is I'm not going to fly off into the air at the end of it. I'm still on the ground.
So she became Canada's first world ski jumping champion
adding the title to her global junior triumph. She was a global junior world champion. She was part of the team that took the bronze at the team event at the 2022 Winter Olympics, which was a surprise medal for us. She won with a score of 264.4 points, I believe. I can't tell what the distance of the jump is off the top of my
Watch her in the next Olympics.
I'd have to look at another article. But she is only 19 years old.
Yeah, so she's just getting started. Oh, you know who else set a record this past weekend?
Who?
Maggie McNeil.
Another one?
Yep. Yeah, another
Holy
record.
crap.
Yep, Maggie McNeil just doing what she does better than anybody else. Yeah, set another record this weekend at an NCAA tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, it says here, I'm looking at an... Oh, nope, that's wrong. That's the wrong article. That's when she won the gold in Japan. That wasn't the World Championships. Sets NCAA record at University of Michigan. London, Ontario swimmer Maggie McNeil and the University of Michigan swimmer became the first woman to break 49 seconds in the 100-meter butterfly Thursday. She swam it in 48.89 seconds. She broke the record. The record was 49.26. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
More than a 1/3 of a second in over 100 meters.
It's a lot.
That is massive.
In a pool, that's huge.
In a pool.
Yeah.
Massive. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Maggie McNeil. She's the thing. Well, between Summer McIntosh and Maggie McNeil and Penny Alexiak, just to name 3 of the Canadian women's national swim team.
Right.
3 of the most prominent members. Watch out in the next Olympics. Now, Penny is recovering from surgery right now, so she's going to miss the Team Canada trials, but they may give her a pass. I don't know how that works. I honestly don't know. So hopefully she can still compete for Team Canada. But yeah, she's just recovering from surgery right now. So I keep an eye on these women because, I love swimming. I love competitive swimming, and these women are just rocking the world from Canada. Men, fellas, guys, catch up to the ladies.
Right. So it says here that I found another article that Lautet was tied actually with the competitor that finished second, Maren Lundby of Norway, after the first jump. But in the second jump, Lautet jumped 136.5 meters.
Yeah, that's long.
136.5. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and again, she's 19. She's just getting started. She's only going to get better.
Yep.
I think the all-time men's record is 162 meters. I could be wrong. And that jump doesn't even, although there's a videotape of it, he touched his butt down, so it doesn't qualify as a full, like a completed jump.
Okay.
But he was also in the flat part of the hill. Like there was no more run at that point. He jumped the entire length of the hill. So when he came down, he hit pretty hard, and it was flat at that point. And it was going on the upward slope to slow them down.
It says, as of March 2017, the official world record for the longest ski jump is 253.5 meters, set by Stefan Kraft at Vikersundbakken in Vikersund, Norway.
253 meters.
On March 22nd, 2017.
Wow.
I know, right?
For those of you who are of a certain age and can't convert feet to meters, 300 meters is 1,000 feet. So
831 feet and 8 1/3 inches.
For some reason, I thought it was 163, but either way.
Yeah.
And that's from the 90 meter jump. That's your run up to from the top of the ramp until you launch is 90 meters.
Yeah. Because is it 90 and 60 or 120 and 90? They've got the big hill and the small hill that they call it.
I thought the big hill was 90 and the small was 45. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I'm not up
to date on it. And I love to watch ski jumping, but I'm not what you would call an aficionado. I'm somebody who just really enjoys watching it because it's such a spectacle, right?
Right. It's fantastic.
And then the last little bit of news that might be interesting, because the Canadian women's curling team is currently at the World Championships and doing well so far. So far in second place after 4 matches, 3 wins, 1 loss. Top 6 teams advanced to the playoffs. But here we have this, Mr. Grizzly. We have a new director of high performance curling in Canada, because we've been having talks about this over the past few years, how Canada used to be able to have this big play down and then send its best team and could probably always be counted on to win, if not win a medal. And that has not been happening very much lately, because other countries have been sending their best 4 players, period, whereas we've been sending our best team that's been played for a while. So they've made a change at high performance curling, and we have brought in this guy here, David Murdoch.
Murdoch?
Two-time world champion from Scotland.
Oh, okay. So they're getting serious. It's like, hey, we've not been doing good enough. We're about to start doing better.
Yep. That is a big get. That's a huge get for curling Canada. So there you go, kits. Lots of stuff to be happy about. Lots of stuff to be proud about. To follow all the stuff that we told you that you should probably be raging and seething about. But we believe in a little balance. We put some greens on your plate and some grains and a little bit of meat, and and then we give you lots of candy. We make you eat your broccoli, but you'll always get dessert.
Well,
Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do. We do indeed.
All right, kits. This is the end of this episode of the True North Eager Beaver, the Daily Beaver podcast. We hope you love listening to us, because we loved making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. Please, please, please let your peeps know about us. It really matters. It makes a world of difference, and we are grateful for absolute all the love that we get. All the love that we get. You guys have been, we've come off the charts the last few days because we've not been able to get a podcast version out of our last few shows, but those are coming.
I'll work on them today.
But you helped us break our record over the last few weeks. So thank you very much, because the most we had been on was 6, and I think this time we had been on something like 8. And that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. It's you turning in and telling people about us, and we appreciate it very, very, very much. So thank you for everything that you do for us. We just can't get enough. And we get comments like this, Mr. Grizzly, that just make us so happy about our interview with Joanna on Learn 60. What a great interview. Our kids are in excellent hands with you. Thank you for all that you do. That was great. You are naturally and effortlessly hilarious and so damn intelligent. Atta girl. That was a comment to Unlearn itself. Herself. So, this is the love that you guys give us. And it means a lot. It means a lot. We appreciate it very much. We can't believe, to be totally honest, all that you give us. So thank you. Thank you. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are appreciated. And because democracy is something that you do, same thing. We're not getting off it. Let them know. Let them know. It's free. You don't even have to put a stamp on the envelope.
Drop it in. That's all you got to do.
Write your MP, write your MPP, write your senator. If you do write your media outlet, then yes, that one you will have to put a stamp on.
MP, MPP, and senators, or MLA, I should say, because, it depends on what part of the country you're in.
Provincially, MLA or MNA, yeah.
MNA, MLA, MPP, MP, senator. All of them, drop it in the mail. They will get it. Now, hopefully they read it, but they will get it.
Yep. Indeed, indeed. Stars and reviews are appreciated. Please, please, please Thank you very much. We love to hear from you, so please reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager on Twitter, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. And if you would like to subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode, well, you can do that via our pod page, podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver. That's the True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between each one of those words, all in lowercase letters. And we will come straight to you when we have something fresh off the bandwidth. And you'll be probably receiving a decent number of episodes in a short period of time coming soon, because
At least 6.
Mr. Grizzly will be making up for some lost ground. So, yeah, don't worry, kids. Don't
Lots
think
to
that we've
download.
suddenly become super prolific. We're just catching up. Why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? We are getting very, very close to 200, which brings us 1/5 of the way to where we need to be at a minimum, because we don't want you to stop at just 1,000. Right? We want to
No,
collect.
God, no.
It's like trading cards. We want to collect all the kits.
Gotta get them all. Was that Pokemon? Gotta get
Gotta
them
get,
all.
collect them all. Collect them all. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel we've done a particularly good show, and if you're watching, you can scan the QR code on the top left to find our coffee, hot chocolate fund tip jar. And if you're listening, well, then you let your fingers do the walk-in to coffee.com, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver to make your donation. And we appreciate absolutely every single little bit that you give to us, because, well, as Mr. Grizzly says often enough, it does cost us a little bit to do the show. And while it is a labor of love, and we are more than happy to do it, we are more than happy to take on the cost, any help that we can get is very much appreciated. And support that we get from people such as Kit Tavi G, who sent us a tip and a positive encouragement comment on Friday,
Thanks, eh?
saying, just a little thank you. I really enjoy your podcast.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, then somebody
Yeah.
asked me, said, what costs are involved? Well, I've had to increase my internet connection speed so that we can actually bring you this, because as a producer, I'm hosting all of this. So I need to have a much higher speed connection, along with I pay for the YouTube feed that we have as well, so that I have control over it. So yeah, there are little things like that.
Yeah. And not only did, no, why is this not cooperating?
I don't know.
Not only did Tavi G, but also Kit Rebecca. Also, if this were a real cafe, I'd offer a venti double shot heavy cream sugar-free vanilla latte. But I know most people don't tolerate such debauchery. But we do. Your show is why I can rise in BC without such a chemical jolt. Thank you for the giggles.
Oh, you're very welcome, Rebecca. Thank you. We appreciate it.
That's a beautiful comment. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I've got all the warm fuzzies now.
Now, maybe I gotta. So the browser I use is Generate.
Mhm.
And the reason I use it is because I have total control over cookies and access, and it's not VPN, but it's very close. And they also pay me for my data. So I'm going to
Mhm.
share this right now, because when I open a new browser tab, it comes up with a photo each time. And I'm hoping somebody can help me identify who this young woman is, because she's a DJ. I don't know who she is, but look at that smile. Doesn't that just lift your soul?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
every time I see that, I'm like, I want to know who she is, because damn, she just makes me happy just seeing that photo. And you can see up here, well, let me just pull the graphic down. Hang on a second. I'll pull that down. And you can see that I have almost $1,000 in Generate points. And that's just by surfing. I get nothing for promoting this, by the way, but that's me
Yeah.
surfing. And what they do is they pay you for your data. So, websites you go to and whatever, you get points that you can redeem your points for discounted things. Now, the points currently are only available in the UK, but the reason I was able to download and use it, because they're expanding.
Mhm.
So I could have a couple thousand points by the time anything is available to me to purchase here. And I believe that a few
Right.
things in the UK I can purchase and they will ship me. So, and you can also donate your points. That'll go to charity as well.
Yep.
So, and it
Like
gives you
one
total
of the-
control over your cookies, your data. And they're like, you might as well get paid for it. Right. So,
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I've got something similar on a browser called Brave that I use from time to time.
Well, and one of the other reasons I use this browser is because unlike some other browsers out there, this one does not demand as much from my processor. So I'm able to run multiple things in the background without freezing all the time. It's still going to freeze occasionally because, look, even if I have the most smoking high-speed connection and high-speed computer available, there's still bottlenecks on the network, on the internet, right?
Exactly.
But Generate uses less processing power than the other browsers do. So it allows me to be searching out multiple windows in the background while we're still broadcasting. So
Right. And merch is still not yet online,
not yet.
but we'll be coming back soon. So don't worry about it, kids. We'll have that for you soon. So from the Beaver Lodge, this is your eager beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there. So please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And Mr. Grizzly, please, if you'd have some words of wisdom, we'd appreciate it.
When you're shaving, make sure you use a new sharp razor blade. Otherwise, you might nick and cut yourself.
I'm not seeing nicks and cuts on your face, Mr. Grizzly. Where were you shaving?
Covered. It's covered. This is my neck guard right now. So let's just say I broke open a new razor this morning. Because yesterday morning I nicked myself a couple of times. So yeah.
Down below is the place to go. Down below.
Fresh blade
please,
for that every single time.
Practice safe manscaping, kids.
Yes.
Mr. Grizzly, please roll the credits.
I will get right on that, sir. Right on that.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Surprise!
I thought we lost you there for a sec. See ya.
Bye, kids.